This is 7 Eyewitness News at 10.
We begin tonight with shocking news from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Until further notice, the state agency has suspended their investigation into the Holly Bobo case and has cut all ties with the 24th Judicial District at the request of District Attorney Matt Stowe. That's a decision that could force local law enforcement agencies into bankruptcy. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Brian Carnaggio has the details from both sides.
TBI Director Mark Gwynn and District Attorney Matt Stowe agree on one thing. This all started when a meeting about the Bobo case got heated and ended up with an argument. It's the first time the TBI has made a statement. Since WBBJ broke the news, Matt Stowe was reportedly cutting ties with the agency for help on all criminal investigations, including the Holly Bobo investigation, more than 3.5 years in the works. A sternly worded news release from the TBI says during a meeting last week involving 2 other district attorneys and the director of the Tennessee District Attorneys General Conference, Stowe made allegations of misconduct and wanted the TBI to suspend all activities in his district. TBI Director Mark Gwynn said, quote, "Stowe may characterize this as a misunderstanding, but his requests were clear and I wasn't the only one who heard it." Stowe avoided all media Wednesday afternoon following a court hearing involving the 3 suspects charged in the Bobo case. He wouldn't go on camera, but his office released a statement hours later saying, District Attorney Matt Stowe strongly denies published media reports indicating that he initiated the suspension of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation support with all ongoing and future cases in his 24th Judicial District. Director Gwynn says he's reached out to Stowe and proposed a meeting with the District Attorney General Conference to discuss the TBI's role in the 24th Judicial District. Brian Carnaggio, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Brian. The TBI says investigative records and process evidence has been turned over to Stowe's office. To read the TBI's entire statement, look for the Scene on 7 section of our homepage. Well, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News has obtained a personal letter sent from Stowe to TBI Director Mark Gwynn. To avoid any confusion, Stowe states that in the letter he does not want the TBI to be removed from his district for the good of the people in the state of Tennessee. Stowe also faxed that letter to law enforcement officials in his district. That district involves 5 counties, including Benton, Carroll, Decatur, Hardin, and Henry counties. All sheriff's offices and police departments in that area will now have the burden of conducting and paying for their own criminal investigations. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Lamparello spoke to one local sheriff. He joins us now live in our production
Brad, it
control.
appears to be a lot of finger pointing between the DA's office and the TBI right now, and it's in a dispute that could cost local law enforcement thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, it's been frustrating for sheriffs and police officers who've been caught in the middle.
Well, we kind of got blindsided, really.
Law enforcement in District 24 dumbfounded in what they say is a first.
Never, nobody has. That's why we're all scratching our heads wondering what the heck is going on.
This comes after the TBI announces cut ties with the district at District Attorney Matt Stowe's request.
These departments are not large enough to have internal affairs, so we depend on going to outside agencies, and it's always the TBI.
Sheriff Kenny Christopher says his department sends everything from blood tests to fingerprints to the TBI for processing, all paid for by state taxes. And he says now they'll have to rely on private labs to process evidence, which could put these sheriff's offices and police departments into bankruptcy.
And the cost, if we had to go elsewhere, would be tremendous for the counties. And I don't think any of the small counties is going to be able to afford it.
Evidence and testimony from the TBI would also be lost, according to Christopher. In Benton County, the TBI handled 90% of the case against Wesley Yates, who's accused of beating his girlfriend's 7-month-old son to death last August. Christopher says the case would be left in limbo.
If they was to be pulled out, I don't think justice would be done, because I don't know where that case would go from there.
Overall, Christopher says he just wants things to get back to normal before his department and others feel the effects.
It's kind of got us at a standstill somewhat, and we want to get this wrapped up. I hope that they can get it worked out as fast as they can.
Stowe says that all of TBI's services will be suspended in the district until they can all meet together, all the parties involved, with the Attorney General to get the whole mess figured out. We're live here in production control tonight. Dan Lamparello, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Dan, thank you. Well, there's even more fallout from last week's meeting. The DA from the 30th Judicial District out of Shelby County filed a motion to pull all of her resources from Stowe. The judge approved a motion filed to remove Special District Attorney or Deputy District Attorney Jennifer Nichols from the case. Stowe brought her in just a few weeks ago to consult on the death penalty portion of the Holly Bobo case. Well, the 3 suspects accused in the kidnapping and killing of Holly Bobo faced a judge today despite tension between the TBI and the DA's office. WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Brittany Nicholson picks up our team coverage tonight with details from the courtroom.
A hectic day in Decatur County. Deputies armed, helicopter overhead. 3 suspects tied to the Holly Bobo murder case face a judge.
Innocent man.
Zach Adams was up first. He and Jason Autry are charged with the kidnapping and killing of Holly Bobo. Adams' attorney Jennifer Lynn Thompson says she's still waiting on evidence from the state.
I have no physical evidence whatsoever about my client linking him to the kidnapping and murder of Holly Bobo.
Judge McGinley made it no secret he wants these cases to move along quickly without any more bumps in the road.
I have expressed my frustration at the progress of this case. I don't think I'm hiding my emotions very well at all in telling you folks that I've run totally out of patience.
District Attorney Matt Stowe gave the judge his word things will move quickly.
Get every bit of evidence to which the defense is entitled to them as quickly as possible.
Jason Autry was up next. His attorney says he's also concerned.
I do share the frustration.
Judge McGinley also asked the attorneys if they plan to request a change of venue. Both said yes.
More than likely, we would be better served to have a veneer that had not been so exposed to coverage.
Zach's brother Dylan Adams also appeared. He's charged with 2 counts of rape in this case. Matt Stowe also said the death penalty for Zach and Autry is still under consideration. In Decatur County, Brittany Nicholson, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
All 3 suspects will be in court again in January. A trial date is expected to be set at that time. And to see all of today's Holly Bobo coverage, go to our website where the news is always on, WBBJTV.com. There you'll find video from the court along with the timeline of all the events from the entire Bobo investigation. New at 10, more than a dozen guns are stolen from a Henry County home. Investigators say fingerprints were left behind. But as WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News reporter Katie Shambo shows us, deputies are unsure where to send the evidence now for processing due to the suspended services with the TBI.
They came in this way.
Fingerprints left throughout a Henry home that was burglarized Tuesday. Investigators are now left wondering where they'll be processed.
Well, that's a good question. I don't know how to answer that. Generally, they're sent to the TBI.
Pamela Milton says her daughter returned home Tuesday to find her home ransacked.
It's creepy. It really is.
Milton believes whoever has stolen from her has done this before.
It's like they were looking for valuables because they went to specific places like to the closet and to the drawers and underneath the bed.
What was taken from those places? 15 guns, wedding rings, family jewelry, and more.
The burglars got away with an estimated $6,000 worth of the family's items, but not before leaving some evidence behind.
Sergeant David Powell says they don't like to work burglaries where guns have hit the streets because it puts the public in more danger.
It's always a better idea to be able to have your guns locked up and safe and stored away where the general public doesn't know where you have them.
Milton believes her family knows the people who did this.
It's very hurtful to know that somebody will violate you.
Sergeant Powell says people need to be extra careful this time of year.
It's Christmas time. And with Christmas time sometimes comes crime. So just be safe with your guns.
Milton says she's praying for the burglars.
This is desperate time, and desperate people do desperate things.
In Henry, Katie Shambo, WBBJ 7 Eyewitness News.
Sergeant Powell says a $500 cash reward will be given for Crime Stoppers tips that lead to the recovery of the guns.